Welcome back to another episode of Furniture Industry News. Today is May 14, 2025, and we've got a lot to unpack, from retailer reinvention and reward programs to global tariffs and shifting consumer behavior. This is the podcast designed to keep furniture professionals up to speed on the trends, disruptions, and strategies reshaping the industry. Let's dive right in. We'll start today with Kirkland's, a familiar name in home furnishings, which just announced a major financial move aimed at revitalizing its brand and retail presence. Kirkland secured a $5.2 million expansion on its credit agreement through a partnership with Beyond Incorporated, the same company backing the comeback of Bed Bath & Beyond. What's unique here is that this isn't just about money. Beyond is also working on a deal to acquire Kirkland's intellectual property, its trademarks, and more. The goal is to license that brand identity back to Kirkland's, allowing it to run under the same name but with new support and shared infrastructure. For furniture retailers listening, this signals a growing trend in consolidation and collaboration. In a tight market, brand partnerships and shared ecosystems are increasingly critical to staying afloat, especially when trying to reach customers both online and in stores. Now, speaking of loyalty, let's talk about IKEA's new customer rewards program. If you haven't heard, IKEA is giving its family program a serious upgrade. They're now offering members a 5% discount on eligible in-store purchases, and they're even throwing in better delivery pricing for online shoppers. This comes at a time when customer loyalty is harder than ever to earn, and IKEA's move is a great example of giving people reasons to return, literally. If you're in furniture retail and wondering how to deepen customer engagement, it might be time to reevaluate your loyalty incentives. IKEA is betting that direct value, like instant discounts, is the kind of perk that keeps people coming back. While major players like IKEA and Kirkland's are repositioning, there's another macro factor everyone in the industry should be watching: tariffs. The National Retail Federation recently praised a 90-day pause in new U.S.-China tariffs that had the potential to seriously disrupt trade again. For furniture professionals who deal with imports, especially from Asia, this is a sigh of relief, at least temporarily. The NRF is pushing for continued dialogue between the U.S. and China, and their hope is to de-escalate long-term. Why does this matter so much? Because tariffs often hit materials, finished goods, and supply chain costs directly. Whether you're manufacturing domestically or importing goods, uncertainty around trade rules makes it difficult to price products competitively. And with margins already thin, any relief, even short-term, can mean the difference between profit and loss. Now let's shift gears to resilience, something every business in our space has needed a lot of lately. Chain Store Age recently published a rundown of 5 ways retailers are building reinvention resilience, and it couldn't come at a better time. One of the biggest takeaways? The companies that adapt the fastest aren't just changing how they operate, they're rethinking their entire business models. That means integrating tech more deeply, reevaluating supply chains, and focusing more on customer experience. For example, investing in AI tools to better forecast demand or using automation in warehouses isn't just about efficiency, it's about creating agility. For furniture businesses, this could mean speeding up custom orders, lowering shipping times, or improving inventory accuracy. Reinvention doesn't always mean reinvention of product, it often starts with process. And speaking of adapting, consumer expectations are changing rapidly too, especially among younger shoppers. A new survey reveals that both Gen Z and millennials are increasingly turning to e-commerce and self-checkout solutions, not just for convenience, but to avoid unnecessary human interaction. This might sound odd to some, but for these generations, a seamless, tech-enabled shopping experience isn't a luxury, it's the norm. That has major implications for how we think about retail design and furniture. Whether it's virtual try-before-you-buy tools, app-based scheduling for in-store consultations, or smart kiosks that let you browse the catalog in the store without needing a salesperson, these features may soon be table stakes. Furniture retailers who lean into that trend will likely win with these younger demographics. But there's a catch. All of this tech requires significant investment, and not everyone feels those investments are paying off. According to a recent PwC report, many supply chain executives believe their tech upgrades have fallen short of expectations. Despite billions poured into software, automation, and data systems, problems like shipping delays, inventory mismatches, and labor shortages persist. Tariffs and trade uncertainty only make things harder. The lesson here? Technology can only go so far if the foundation isn't right. Before adding new digital layers, Furniture businesses need to evaluate their existing operations, from vendor relationships to logistics partnerships. It's not just about adopting new tools, it's about using them effectively and aligning them with a clear strategy. Let's pause for a second and think about the bigger picture here. What ties all of these stories together? From Kirkland's restructuring, IKEA's loyalty upgrades, and the tariff pause to consumer trends and tech investments? It's the drive for control in a market that feels increasingly unpredictable. Every decision, from expanding credit lines to redesigning loyalty programs to rethinking checkout processes, is about gaining more influence over outcomes, more stability, and better predictability. In the furniture world, where long lead times and high-ticket purchases are the norm, that control can make or break a business. Think about it. If you don't know whether your imports will face extra duties in a month, how can you plan your pricing strategy for a seasonal collection? If your customer base suddenly expects same-day delivery or virtual room planning tools, how do you pivot fast enough to meet demand without losing your identity? The good news is that the industry is evolving in some smart ways. We're seeing more collaboration, better use of data, and renewed focus on the customer experience. And for furniture professionals, from manufacturers and wholesalers to showroom managers and interior designers, that's a signal that even in a turbulent market, there's room to innovate and grow. So as we wrap up today's episode, here's what to watch. Pay attention to how other brands are managing partnerships, like Kirkland's and beyond. Think critically about how loyalty looks in your business. And remember, younger shoppers are setting new expectations that can't be ignored. Keep tabs on tariff developments because trade policy still has the power to shake up the whole supply chain. And when it comes to technology, don't just invest, integrate with purpose. That's all for today's episode of Furniture Industry News. If you found today's insights helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. We'll be back soon with more of the stories shaping the future of furniture.